Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Laura Train Mama. Today we are having a look at this story from the Thomas the Tank Engine book club. It's called James the Red Engine. The stories contained within this are part of the Railway series number 3, James and the Bootlace. One morning the Fat Controller spoke severely to James. "If you can't behave, I shall take away your red coat and have you painted blue." James did not like that at all, and he was very rough with the coaches as he brought them to the platform. Come along, he called rudely. All in good time, the coaches grumbled. Don't talk, come on, answered James, and, with the coaches squealing and grumbling after him, he snorted into the station. James was cross that morning. The Fat Controller had spoken to him. The coaches had dawdled, and, worst of all, he had had to fetch his own coaches. Gordon never does, thought James, and he is only painted blue. A splendid red engine like me should never have to fetch his own coaches. And he puffed and snorted round to the front of the train and backed onto it with a rude bump. "Ooh," groaned the coaches. "That was too bad." To make James even more cross, he then had to take the coaches to a different platform, where no one came near him as he stood there. The Fat Controller was in his office. The station master was at the other end of the train with the guard, and even the little boys stood a long way off. James felt lonely. "I'll show them," he said to himself. "They think Gordon is the only engine who can pull coaches." As soon as the guard's whistle blew, he started off with a tremendous jerk. Come on, he puffed, and the coaches, squeaking and groaning in protest, clattered over the points onto the open line. Hurry, puffed James. You're going too fast, said the coaches. And indeed, they were going so fast that they swayed from side to side. James laughed and tried to go faster, but the coaches wouldn't let him. We're going to stop, they said. And James found himself going slower and slower. "What's the matter?" James asked his driver. "The brakes are hard on." "Leak in the pipe, most likely. You've banged the coaches enough to make a leak in anything." The guard and the driver got down and looked at the brake pipes all along the train. At last they found a hole where the rough treatment had made a joint work loose. "How shall we mend it?" said the guard. James's driver thought for a moment. "We'll do it with newspapers and a leather bootlace." "Well, where is the bootlace coming from?" asked the guard. "We haven't one." "Ask the passengers," said the driver. So the guard made everyone get out. "Has anyone got a leather bootlace?" he asked. They all said no, except one man in a bowler hat, whose name was Jeremiah Jobling, who tried to hide his feet. "You have a leather bootlace there, I see, sir," said the guard. "Please give it to me." "I won't," said Jeremiah Jobling. "Then," said the guard sternly, "I'm afraid this train will just stop where it is." Then the passengers all told the guard, the driver and the fireman what a bad railway it was. But the guard climbed into his van and the driver and the fireman made James let off steam. So they all told Jeremiah Jobling he was a bad man instead. At last he gave them his laces. The driver tied a pad of newspapers tightly round the hole, and James was able to pull the train. But he was a sadder and a wiser James, and took care never to bump coaches again. James and the Express. Sometimes Gordon and Henry slept in James's shed, and they would talk of nothing but bootlaces. James would talk about engines who got shut up in tunnels and stuck on hills, but they wouldn't listen, and went on talking and laughing. "You talk too much, little James," Gordon would say. "A fine, strong engine like me has something to talk about. I'm the only engine who can pull the Express. When I'm not there, they need 2 engines. Think of that. I've pulled expresses for years and have never once lost my way. I seem to know the right line by instinct, said Gordon proudly. Every wise engine knows, of course, that the signalman works the points to make the engines run on the right lines. But Gordon was so proud that he had forgotten. Wake up, James, he said next morning. It's nearly time for the express. What are you doing? Odd jobs? Oh well. We all have to begin somewhere, don't we? Run along now and get my coaches. Don't be late now. James went to get Gordon's coaches. They were now all shining with lovely new paint. He was careful not to bump them, and they followed him smoothly into the station, singing happily. We're going away, we're going away. I wish I was going with you, said James. I should love to pull the express and go flying along the line. He left them in the station and went back to the yard just as Gordon, with much noise and blowing of steam, backed onto the train. The Fat Controller was on the train with other important people, and as soon as they heard the guard's whistle, Gordon started. Look at me now, he puffed, and the coaches glided after him out of the station. Boop, 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 boop. Goodbye, little James. See you tomorrow. James watched the train disappear round a curve and then went back to work. He pushed some trucks into their proper sidings and went to fetch the coaches for another train. He brought the coaches to the platform and was just being uncoupled when he heard a mournful, quiet, shh, 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 shh. And there was Gordon trying to sidle into the station without being noticed. Hello, Gordon. Is it tomorrow? Asked James. Gordon didn't answer. He just let off steam feebly. Did you lose your way, Gordon? No, it was lost for me, he answered crossly. I was switched off the main line onto the loop. I had to go all round and back again. Perhaps it was instinct, said James brightly. Meanwhile, all the passengers hurried to the booking office. We want our money back, they shouted. Everyone was making a noise, but the Fat Controller climbed on a trolley and blew the guard's whistle so loudly that they all stopped to look at him. Then he promised them a new train at once. Gordon can't do it, he said. Will you pull it for us, James? Yes, sir, I'll try. So James was coupled on and everyone got in again. Do your best, James, said the Fat Controller kindly. Just then the whistle blew and he had to run to get in. Come along, puffed James. You're pulling us well, sang the coaches. Hurry, 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 puffed James. Stations and bridges flashed by. The passengers leaned out of the windows and cheered, and they soon reached the terminus. Everyone said, thank you, to James. Well done, said the Fat Controller. Would you like to pull the express sometimes? Yes, please, answered James happily. Next day, when James came by, Gordon was pushing trucks in the yard. I like some quiet work for a change, he said. I'm teaching those trucks manners. You did well with those coaches, I hear. Good, we'll show them. And he gave his trucks a bump, making them cry. Ooh, ooh, ooh. James and Gordon are now good friends. James sometimes takes the express to give Gordon a rest. Gordon never talks about the bootlaces, and they are both quite agreed on the subject of trucks. That brings us to the end of the story, James the Red Engine. I really hope that you enjoyed listening along with me today, and if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, share with a friend, why not, and have a great day.